Tonight, we begin with a story that strikes at the heart of every car buyer's worst fear: paying for a vehicle you legally cannot own or even drive. For months, a Central Ohio woman lived that nightmare, until an investigative report forced long-awaited action from state officials. Paula Lambert, who helped her brother purchase a 2017 Kia Soul back in March, found herself stranded in a maze of missing paperwork and unanswered questions. What should have been a routine title transfer quickly unraveled into months of frustration, escalating doubt, and the growing fear she had been swindled. When 10 Investigates first sat down with her in October, the car was trapped in limbo, parked in her garage, unable to be sold, driven, or legally registered. And yet, despite doing what most would consider everything right, Lambert still couldn't get the state-issued proof that the vehicle was truly theirs. According to Lambert, the purchase itself seemed straightforward. She and her brother found the seller on Facebook, inspected the car, exchanged payment, and left believing the process was complete. But the trouble began when they went to transfer the title at a business called VSLA Auto Sales LLC. She says that's where they were directed for a temporary tag and the final paperwork. Instead, the transfer never happened. Weeks passed, phone calls went unanswered, and when Lambert returned to the dealership, she was met with a sign announcing it had temporarily closed. 10 Investigates tried reaching the business as well, but calls went nowhere. When reporters later returned to the same location, a completely different dealership was operating out of the building. Lambert contacted the Attorney General's office, but without a bill of sale, she hit yet another dead end. The Kia remained undrivable, and her hope for a resolution continued to fade. Then, just days after 10 Investigates aired its months-long report on title transfer failures, Lambert says her phone rang. On the line, a BMV investigator who had seen the story and taken action. According to Lambert, the investigator explained that the dealership's ownership structure was far more chaotic than anyone realized. 6 owners, one of whom claimed to have no knowledge of multiple cars being sold. It was a revelation that raised new questions about oversight and responsibility. But for Lambert, what mattered most was the outcome. The investigator arranged to meet her at the Great Southern Title Office, where she finally received the title she had been waiting for since spring. After months of stalled progress, the solution came quickly, almost effortlessly, once the right eyes were on the case. Lambert says she's certain the investigation was the turning point. With the title finally in hand, Lambert says she and her brother can move forward at last. She plans to sell the Kia, explaining that she already bought her brother another vehicle and hopes to recover the money tied up in months of uncertainty. She called the outcome a Thanksgiving miracle, even joking that their parents would stop calling them morons at family gatherings. But their relief highlights a larger concern. According to the Attorney General's office, at least 10 other people filed similar complaints against VSLA Auto Sales LLC in the last 2 years. Some waited weeks for titles. Others had to go to court. As online car sales become more common, experts say buyers must protect themselves by checking a vehicle's VIN through the BMV, printing and notarizing their own bill of sale, and keeping electronic records of every interaction, even if it's only a screenshot. As more details come to light, Lambert's story becomes more than an isolated case. It reflects the vulnerabilities within private car sales and title processing in Ohio. When buyers turn to social platforms like Facebook Marketplace, they often assume good faith, trusting that sellers and affiliated dealers will follow legal procedures. But as Lambert discovered, one missing document or unresponsive intermediary can freeze everything. For months, her brother's car was trapped in bureaucratic limbo, not because of fraud they could easily spot, but because of a breakdown in paperwork that no consumer could realistically monitor. The fact that 6 individuals were reportedly listed as dealership owners only added to the confusion, highlighting gaps in oversight that leave everyday buyers exposed. Lambert's experience underscores how even one incomplete step can turn a simple purchase into a months-long ordeal. The response from state officials after the investigation suggests that awareness and scrutiny play a crucial role in resolving such cases. The BMV investigators' quick intervention, after months of silence, raises important questions about how many similar cases remain stuck, simply because no one is looking closely. While Lambert is grateful for the resolution, the timeline of events makes it clear that the system often depends on external pressure to function efficiently. It also points toward a larger, systemic need for clearer accountability when dealerships close abruptly, change ownership, or operate in ways that make follow-up nearly impossible. If titles go missing or transfers are abandoned, buyers shouldn't be left to navigate the aftermath alone. Her story demonstrates how investigative journalism can serve as a check when official processes stall. Meanwhile, industry experts emphasize that buyers can and should take steps to shield themselves from similar problems. The Ohio Independent Automobile Dealers Association advises that purchasing a used car online isn't inherently risky, but it requires caution. They recommend verifying the vehicle's VIN on the BMV's online database before completing any transaction. That simple step can reveal who legally holds the title and whether a dealership is truly authorized to handle the paperwork. They also stress the importance of keeping a well-documented paper trail. Even a self-printed bill of sale notarized at a local bank can offer vital proof if anything goes wrong. And with digital communication now standard, screenshots, messages, and transaction records can become evidence that speeds up investigations, protects buyers, and prevents months of uncertainty. For Paula Lambert, the ordeal is finally over, but her story stands as a warning for countless Ohioans searching for affordable cars online. Her relief is genuine, yet it's impossible to ignore the frustration she endured. Months of waiting, unanswered questions, and a car she couldn't legally touch. The fact that 10 other people lodged similar complaints against the same dealership suggests a pattern, not a coincidence. And while Lambert now moves on with plans to sell the Kia and recover her investment, the broader message remains. In a marketplace where convenience often outweighs caution, buyers must stay vigilant. Her Thanksgiving miracle is a reminder that while help may eventually come, prevention is far more reliable than rescue. And for many watching tonight, her experience may be exactly the warning they need.